The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the March 8th, the terrific Thursday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. And let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. And the easiest way to do that, well, is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I am absolutely grateful for your presence here. But even more important than that, and that's this, during this next 53 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone. I'd love to hear from you at 877-927-6648. If you got a question, but you can't call in, go ahead and send me an email. Send that to steve@tfnn.com. Inside the subject heading, please put radio show question. Of course, if you're inside our Tiger's Den, well, then any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on terrific Thursday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Right now, mixed bag. The Dow is up 40. The S&P is up 4. The NASDAQ 163. The Russell's up 13. Semi's up 22. Tranny's up 8. New York Stock Exchange is back 43. Gold is up about $12. Silver's up 3 cents. Light sweet crude up 26 pennies. Natural gas is back nearly 2 cents. The 30-year Treasury printed out at 124.02. That is off 4 ticks. Leading the charge, dollar-wise to the upside. You've got Thermo Fisher up about $8, 1.5%. Moody's up $7 and change, 2.5%. Roper Technologies, $7, 1 6/10. Argenix SE up $7, that's 2%. General Electric is up about 7 or nearly 8%. To the downside, taking the shorts, a 40% move to the downside. SVB Financial, that's down 108 points. Mon is off $17, nearly 8%. First Republic Bank, the banks are getting smoked here, down $15, 13%. Helen of Troy is down 10%, $11. Ameriprise Financial is off 3%, nearly $9 to the downside. So we got plenty to look at. Of course, I want to look at what you want to look at. Let's begin by taking a look at the equity future contracts. Let's move over and look at our white background charts. We'll change screens here. Momentarily, you'll see the daily time frame. In the upper left, you'll see the ES Mini. So if ever the market had the opportunity to crush it to the downside, it certainly was over the last couple of days with Powell speaking to Congress. Wasn't able to do that. You just have a consolidation inside the daily profile for the ES Mini. Resistance 40.25 and 40.39. That's the oscillator and change line as well as the top of its profile. The NQ is the one to watch today. If this market is going to try to take off to the top side, what you need to see is the daily time frame close above its green oscillator and change line. That has been acting as resistance for the last 4 or 5 trading sessions out there. That number is currently printed at 12.318. Make it 12.319, 12.320. If price is able to close above that, well, that gets us up to the 12.408 level, the top of its profile. The Dow, just a consolidation with inside its profile out there. Nothing new. The Russell 2000. So maybe the market. So you've got a bottom in the NQ. You got a bottom in the Dow. We don't have a bottoming pattern inside the ES Mini. You do in the S&P and the SPY. But what we don't have out here in the Russell 2000 for the equity future contract for sure is a bottom. And so maybe it's just trying to complete its 1-to-1, A to B equals CD to the downside. That price projection is around 1886 or so. I'm sorry, not 1886. It's around 18 1856 or so. We're at 1866. So may do that. It's got the A to B equal CD. It's within enough of a range probably that if a bullish reversal candle did form, just like in the case of the NQ, it would form a Gartley buy pattern. But right now we'll say it's the NQ. It's the daily oscillator and change line that is the key level to watch and observe. If we go switch over and see what's going on underneath the covers for the NQ, well, we have to actually put that up on our charts out here. Let's do that. While this is populating, let's go take a look at, well, I don't know if I could do that while it's populating. We're going to take a look at it anyways before we look at the charts. The first thing is let's look at the short-term time frame. By short-term, I'm referring to 30 minutes. On a 30-minute basis, 122 instruments above profile, 106 below. That's for the S&P 500. So for the 30 minutes, it's in a bullish configuration. The NASDAQ 100 or the NQ, what we've got out here with regard to instruments above is 25 above and 22 below. So we're getting pretty close. It still is a bullish setup, but we're getting close. Well, the 30 minutes are bullish, meaning more instruments trading above profile than below profile for both the ES and the NQ. Let's take a look at the other 4 time frames out here. Here's an NASDAQ 100. It is now bullish for the 60-minute, daily, and weekly. So it is really trying to form that bottom out there. It's the 240-minute chart that is got 27 instruments above and 28 instruments below. So it's one equity, one position from at least break even. But the NASDAQ is pretty bullish, as you can see. And that means that daily oscillator and change line is really a key level. We'll take a look at some other charts, see if we can find anything else out there. But first, with regard to the S&P 500 and its 4 other time frames, and here's where the choppy market comes from. The NASDAQ says, I'm ready to take off. The S&P says, no, you're not. It's a negative market breadth for the weekly, the daily, and the 240. The 60 is positive, is bullish, 252 above, 128 below. So market breadth, we got the divergence between the NQ and the ES, but the NQ can lift all boats higher out there. Now we're taking a look at the NQ charts. We've got the daily. We've already talked about that. If we look at a 5-hour time frame chart, we've got a TD9 count topping pattern. Really, what price needs to do is close above 12,404 at a minimum. What really needs to do in order to set up an A to B equals CD to the upside, and I'm not saying it's going to do that. If it did do this, which is close above 12,486 and a quarter, well, that would be an A to B equals CD to the upside, most certainly for the 5-hour, for the 4-hour, really for all of them. What else do we see out here? I see 12,364 as resistance on the 60 and the 30-minute charts. Those are TD9 count breakdown resistance levels. I don't see any kind of topping patterns, at least at this stage, for those instruments out there. It is the 10-minute that was giving us really good signals. I'll switch over to those. Just take a look at the short-term charts. Always looking for which charts is the tide truly rolling on. And 3 of the 4 here, really 2 of the 4 are giving us really good signals, the ES and the Dow. Why did price stop where it did this morning? Well, on a 10-minute basis, you had a nice TD9 count top. That formed at 10 a.m. We had the same thing unfold at 10 a.m. inside the Dow. At 10 a.m., let's get here for the NQ, it was actually negating its TD9 count. Well, it was forming a TD9 count top, and then at 10:10, it negated that pattern out there. But what we have right now with regard to the ES, it's consolidating with inside its bearish structured 10-minute profile. What that means is that price should be able to make its way down to 39.21 or 39.80.50. In the case of the NQ, bearish structured profile, as long as price remains below 12,316, the sellers should be able to push price down to the 12,242 level. And inside the Dow, it's 32,759, which is where they should be able to push it. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. Give us a call, folks, 877-927-6648, or send me an email, steve@tfnn.com. We'll be happy to look at your instrument for you. We'll be right back.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kegstad's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kegstad breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. Dow's up 61, S&P's up 9, and the Nasdaq's up 85 with Russell down 13. We're going to go take a look at our first request out here. This is from McGuppy inside the Tiger's Den. McGuppy'd like to take a look at ticker symbol BTAI. In the case of BTAI, I believe that McGuppy's been selling a bit of it, and he's asking a couple questions. First, what do I see? Second, what do the charts suggest as a potential buy point out here? So we can see right now that what is taking place. So first, it's got BTAI has a confirmed Rhodes Momentum Indicator top that took place on the trading session of February 9th. Makes its first move down into a low on February the 22nd. That's really the B point of an A to B equals CD pattern. That did volume on that trading session of 821,000 shares. So far today, you're at 165. Not really 2 hours of trading, but still 170, 340. 5 something, and this has a volume of 820. So it looks like light volume. That does not mean that an A to B equals CD pattern will not unfold. So BTA, now the volume, so today's volume is going to be light, even though it's taking out a swing point. I think we have another question about that same situation. Does it invalidate the A to B equals CD pattern? The answer is no, not at all. We like to use the term confirmed. We like to use the terminology confirmed around here with regard to A to B equals CD patterns, and that means just simply that the B point has been taken out with volume out there. I've never done the math on it. I don't have the actual tools to be able to do the math on it to let you know specifically whether what percentage of the A to B equals CD patterns complete when it's the B points pass with volume versus when it's not pass with volume. So that's the first thing. That is So, but let me switch over to the other charts here, just simply because I've got the A to B equals CD tool up. So give me a moment just to do that out here. What we did see on the white background charts is the next breakout level of support, or the breakout level of support for BTA, is down at the 2103 mark out there. So we'll just keep that in mind. Here we're taking a look at the A to B equals CD pattern. So it's had a 0.786 retracement off of the on the B to C leg from the A to B point out there. So you can see it says 0.7882. So now you can see that price has made the 1-to-1 level. What this needs is a bullish reversal candle to confirm a Gartley buy pattern. So your question specifically, McGuppy, was where is the next buy area? The next buy area would be a completed Gartley buy pattern inside of BTAI. I wish I could tell you when that is going to happen. I can't. Right now, price is testing a swing point from back on February the 1st that did volume of 439,000. Now, you are pushing into that with volume, or what it would appear to be volume. Really won't know till day's end out there. The 1 to 1.272 price projection area is around 25.33. You should just simply be on the lookout for any kind of a bullish reversal candle on the daily time frame. That would be your signal to enter. You can see there's a new profile formed about 3-4 weeks ago on a weekly basis below price. That's a bullish signal, but it doesn't mean that price can't get down to 24.98. On a monthly time frame, this set of charts here not providing us with enough information to really assist anyone. So with regard to BTAI, your specific question was, what do the charts say? I think we've shown you the A to B equals CD pattern out there and the potential for a Gartley buy pattern should a bullish reversal candle form. So I hope that helps you out, McGuppy. I also know that you wanted to take a look at some stocks inside the semiconductors. So let's go switch over there. We'll switch back to those white background charts. The first stock that we'll take a look at is NVIDIA. So let's switch over here. We've got BTI. That's not what we wanted. We wanted this next chart up here. Here is NVIDIA. NVIDIA, what do we have here? Well, what we have is a confirmed Rhodes Momentum Indicator top that will get negated with a close today above, if it closes today above, 242.48. So we're really in kind of a neutral position. What I mean by that is we've got that confirmed top that took place on March the 6th, just a few days ago. That's your resistance level. It's the high of that candle. Price is above the top of its daily profile, and therefore the overall message is really kind of a neutral one. The weekly chart is going to complete bar number 9 tomorrow of a TD9 count. That says that NVIDIA could or should form a top between this week and next week, by the end of next week out there. The high on a weekly basis for a TD9 count can form on the bar following bar number 9. I think that is a likely outcome. That'll really be a likely outcome if price closes above that session for March 6th. Again, that's at 242.48. The reason why I say that's a likely outcome is because price closes above that. When I look at the monthly time frame chart, there's nothing to suggest that this thing is not headed to the 289.46 level out there. So yesterday was a move to the upside for NVIDIA. Today, likely to be a second consecutive move to the upside as NVIDIA just follows the Texas two-step here. So if we do get a second consecutive close higher inside NVIDIA, McGuppy, expect a pullback that could last for 2 days, a typical 2-day bar. Again, a Texas two-step that goes on inside these charts all the time out there. I know that you also wanted to take a look at the semis. So let me switch. You had some other charts out here, but we do have some other requests. So let me do this here, and we can come back to those individual stocks after I get through with the request. But let's just take a look at semi holdings in general. So I'm going to get that populated. We're going to switch screens here. I'm going to go to my other screen with white background charts on it. And screen, there you go. And these are the, or at least at one point in time, I have not updated this chart here, but when I say one point in time, within the last month or so, this would have been the order of the highest weighted stocks within inside the SMHs. Taiwan Semiconductor was number one. Here, I'm not worried about whether number one or number two. Let me give you a quick review of what's going on. Taiwan Semiconductor, consolidation between 87.89 and 92.83. NVIDIA, we've already covered. TXN, it is traded above the center of a bullish structured daily profile. That suggests a run up to 179.58. In the case of Qualcomm, that negated a couple of days ago its TD9 count bottom. That suggests a run for 117.34. Avgo, you still have a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. That was from 4 days ago, very much like the like NVIDIA that we took a look at. If price is above its profile, it's above its oscillator and change on, its signal is neutral. It'll get really back to its bullish ways if price were to close above 644.05. AMD was one of the stocks that you had mentioned. AMD is trading into a swing point. That swing point has volume of 97 million shares. Yesterday's volume was 69, and today so far you're at 31. So 31, you're getting volume. So it looks to me like AMD is going to at least go tag the high of that swing point. That's at 88.94. The case of KLAC, Clack 10 Core, prices above the top of its daily profile, closed above it yesterday. That's a bullish signal. So just with regard to those 8 instruments out there, McGuppy, it should give you a fairly good, everybody else that's listening, should give you a fairly good feel for what the semis are doing, those representing at one point in time, a few months ago or so, about the top 8 weighted instruments. So I do hope that helps you out, and that I provided you with all the information that you were looking for. I guess lastly here, let's just take a look at, remind ourselves about the SMHs and their seasonal pattern out here. Well, that didn't work. What the heck happened to that screen? Whoa. Try to get that figured out while we're at this breakout there. But you're looking at what I'm looking at. And that's a black screen. That's not what Stevie wanted to hear on Terrific Thursday. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Crisis averted, which is a beautiful thing out there. And so let's continue on. We were taking a look at I was trying to get this chart up on my screen, which really screwed up another screen. I don't know why. which is the semiconductor index. This is 22 years worth of data. This is a seasonal set of charts out there. We took a look at the semis. They all indicated or seem to indicate that they want to move higher, or most of them did. And that's really what the seasonal pattern is suggesting as well. So we typically see the seasonal pattern with the semis making a high towards late March out there. So, be on the lookout for that. But that's what's in play out there. It does look like they want to continue to move higher. It doesn't mean that we don't see a pullback tomorrow or something along those lines with a 2-day move to the upside, but overall things look pretty good. Let's go on to our next question. Next question is from Jambalaya inside the Tiger's Den, and Jambalaya wanted to take a look at Yang out there. So let's go over to that chart. Is this it? No, that's not it. Let's try this. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, everything got really messed up. Oh, man. Okay, well, that's okay. So I'm just going to have to do a little bit of house cleaning here while we're doing the show. So let's move this over here. So what I had to do was disconnect a monitor with everything live. It's kind of threw things that were on 4 monitors into 3, obviously, and we're now seeing Stevie's paying the price. So we take a look at Yang. Y-A-N-G is the ticker symbol. And I believe this is one of the China indices out there. And this is the China Bear instrument, I believe. So, I'd really like to know what the what's behind this. I don't know what's behind this, and we could do a better analysis than this. You get all these gaps. That's currency issues. Whoa, where'd that come from? Interesting. It's the stuff that's going on my computer right now. That's weird. Okay, so with regard to Yang, let me at least provide you with this information. It's moving into a swing point from the trading day of February 24th. That swing point at 7.2 million shares. Today, so far, you've done 4.2. So this is moving higher with volume, moving into a swing point with volume. If this does close above that high, which is 1182, that will confirm an A to B equals CD to the upside. If it doesn't get above that swing point, it'll get back there and at least test it again because you're moving into it with volume. We can draw the A to B equals CD pattern here momentarily. The next resistance level is up at 1345. That's a daily TD9 count breakdown level. So let's go back to the black background charts out here. Let's put on the A to B equals CD tool. This is for Yang. Let's open up the daily time frame chart. And yeah, look at all these gaps out there. You really need to, in trading this instrument, if it's me, I want access to the top weightings, the top 10 weightings inside this, so I can see what those individual stocks are doing out there. In any event, let's try to make this A to B equals CD pattern. What the heck is going on with the system here? There we go. We got the A point. The B point, again, is that swing we're taking a look at from February 24th. Looks like the C point is the low from March the 2nd out there. So 1-to-1, A to B equals CD, assuming price can close above 1182. We're at 1179 right now. Would take you up to the 1438 level. And I think, Jambalaya, you might have been the one that was asking me about... No, it was not. It was John with regard to Tesla. So with regard to Yang, I don't know there's much more that I can provide for you. But if there's anything else that you do need, please go ahead and type in an instrument, and I'll try to get that for you. So thank you very much. That was Yang for Jambalaya inside the Tiger's Den. John C. inside the Tiger's Den wants to take a look at Tesla. Of course, ticker symbol there is TSLA. So let's get over to its charts. And his question was, well, actually, let's stay with the black background charts, because this question is about the A, B, CD pattern. So it was a question about the A to B equals CD to the downside. So here's an A to B equals CD to the downside pattern. I don't know that this is the same one that you were looking at, John, but let's take a look at this one right now. The A point is out here on the trading day of February 16th. Makes a move lower into February 22nd, makes a retracement of 75%, so it's less than 0.786, into a high on February 28th. That set up the A to B equals CD to the downside. The B point out here was February 22nd. 191 million shares were traded that day. When price closed below it, it was 181 million shares, so pretty decent volume. Yesterday was 148 million shares, or 2 days ago, 148. Yesterday, 151. Again, that's going against the 191. Well, we're already at the 1-to-1. So the question was, if you pass a B point with light volume, does that negate the A to B equals CD pattern? And the answer is absolutely positively no. If you were going to trade currencies, just to give you an example, John, if we were going to trade currency, if I were going to put currency pairs up here, we have no volume. zero volume out there. So you trade the pattern. So it just, and again, statistically, I can't prove this. Maybe someday we can out there, but I can't statistically prove that when you pass a B point with or without volume, what percentage of those complete at least the 1-to-1. I wish I knew. So I could provide you with better information. But I'm not aware of somebody who's run that set of statistics out there on charts. Maybe David White has at some point in time. So what you're waiting for here with regard to Tesla is you're waiting for a bullish reversal candle. We don't have that as we speak right now. If you did get that, then this would form, John, this would form a Gartley buy pattern. So the Gartley pattern, what you're really trying to do is you're trying to take a look at a large move. In this case here, it's an up move. That means coming off of the lows from January 6th all the way to the high that was put in on the trading session of February 16th. So you're trying to say, hey, I'd like to get in on that. What's the pattern? Well, the pattern would be an A to B. One of the patterns would be an A to B equals CD to the downside. We've got that. And then that would, if we get a bullish reversal candle, that'll set up a Gartley buy pattern. Now, it's possible, John, I can't go back and see your message that easily without a long pause out here. You might have been taking a look at another A to B equals CD pattern out here. So I've shown you one. I'll take it off the screen right now just to show you version number 2 of this. We're still starting with the same A point out here. That's from the trading day of February 16th. But it's possible one could have used the swing point from March 2nd as your B point. Now, price moves right up into resistance. That's the top of its profile. Even if it's less than a 0.382 retracement, which is not, I still would have used it knowing that price hit that resistance level. So that was a 45% retracement. Now that swing point had volume of 181, and yesterday was passed with 151. So which A to B equals CD pattern is in play? Both are in play. The shorter one that we took a look at, if you get a bullish reversal candle there, that's going to give you a Gartley buy pattern out there. If it gets negated, then it's probably this larger one. That's the one that is in play out here. This larger one has a 1-to-1 price projection of 168.84. 160.23 will be the 1.272 level out there. Now let's go from these charts. Let's go flip back to the white background chart, see if there's any additional information that we can provide for John C. inside the Tiger's Den. We take a look at these 3 charts out here. No bottoming pattern on the daily time frame. We are going to form bar number 6 today. But says a TD9 count, come back next week to take a look at that as a possibility. But you could get a buy the D point pattern that would form before that. As we look at the weekly time frame charts, you have price pulling back into the bullish structured weekly profile. The support zone, which we're in right now, is between 176.56 and 186.83. So if you were to get a bullish reversal candle, a Gartley buy, with price on the weekly pulling back into its bullish structured profile support area, that would be the time to fire away. Otherwise, price is likely to get down to 176.56 level. A close below that, and we're looking to move to its red oscillator and change line at around 164. So, John, I hope that helps you out with regard to the A to B equals CD patterns out there when it comes to Tesla, or really, quite frankly, any other stock chart. Go out and, again, take a look at the currency pairs. You've got no volume at all, but we use these exact same patterns. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. Give us a call, folks, 877-927-6648. Dow's up 29, S&P's up 4, NASDAQ 163. We'll be right back.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. Let's get to our next question out here. This is from Dennis inside the Tigers Den. Wants to take a look at Microsoft out there. It might have been just to take a look at it. So let me just says, what is Microsoft range for the next 2 weeks? You're too funny. Right now, what I can share with you is Microsoft today at 11:42 is trading above the top of its profile. This is after forming a TD9 count bottom back on March the 2nd out there. It's trading above its green oscillator and change line and the top of its daily profile. If price closes today, Dennis, above 256.70, it says it wants to move higher. It's moving into a swing point from March the 6th. That did volume of 24 million shares. 2 hours of trading so far. This has done 8 million shares. If we do 8 times 3, we're at 24 million. That gets us close enough. You're moving into that swing point with a similar type volume. If price closes above that high, quite frankly, you could get an A to B equals CD to the upside out there, that high being 260.12. Regardless of whether you take that out with volume or not, and the A to B equals CD pattern, price should continue to move higher with a target being 266.74. At a minimum, I can say because price appears to be moving into the swing point with volume, price should at least go tag that high. That's at 260.12. On a weekly basis, just consolidating with inside his profile with a target of 271, and you got a nice TD9 count bottom on the monthly. Price should eventually target 280.11 out there. So what's going to take place in the next 2 weeks out there? Dennis, I don't have that skill. Wish I did. But that's what Microsoft is doing. At least you've got today's data and what it's doing, and I think you just have to take this one day at a time. We got another request. This is by email, and it's from Marvin. Marvin wants to take a look at United Natural Foods. Ticker symbol here is UNFI. And this thing is really taken in the shorts the last couple of days, or yesterday it is. So not sure what it did or what it didn't do, but man, it got crushed. The question is, I want to do a swing trade on ticker symbol UNFI. Has this equity bottomed for a bounce? Well, so take a look at first. I'm going to start with the monthly time frame chart out here. And what the monthly time frame chart tells you is be very careful. This appears to be forming a monthly A to B equals CD to the downside. The B point out here is from the trading session of the week of, or the month, I should say, of September 2022. 10 million shares traded then. We're already at 9.2 million shares. It's only the 9th. So this is setting up an A to B equals CD to the downside, Marvin. I know you asked about a swing trade, but what you want to be doing here is swing trading in the larger direction. So larger direction is to the downside. Let me give you that A to B equals CD pattern. This one is what we could call a confirmed one, although the month is not over and anything could happen. But it most certainly has volume. So let's take that. We'll put this towards the B point out here. That's going to be right there. And this has a 1-to-1 price projection in the 22, call it the 23 area, just slightly below $23. On the weekly time frame, let's pull this back here. The weekly time frame says the same thing. The same thing, meaning you've got the same A to B equals CD pattern. The weekly swing point is being taken out with volume. That's got 4 million shares. So far this week, we're already at 8 million shares. So the weekly and the monthly are saying, don't even think about it, Marvin. Don't even think about it. And the daily just crushed. Big volume yesterday. The volume to the downside yesterday was 6.5 million shares. Today, obviously much lighter. You're at 640,000 shares. So as I pull the daily time frame chart back out there, this would need a bullish reversal candle to confirm a buy the D point. So the only thing we can do is let's go take a look at a short-term time frame chart. In our case right now, that would be a 30-minute time frame. And on a 30-minute basis, I don't have any kind of a signal out there. So it's buy at your own risk. It's always buy at your own risk. Just out of curiosity, I don't know what happened inside of United Natural Foods, but something's not natural. If we take a quick peek here, let me just see if we can get data on this UNFI. See if it pops up. Well, not INFI, UNFI. United Natural Foods. So we've got data that dates back 26 years, and normally this would be on the move higher. So its seasonal pattern says that this should move higher into June 2nd, but I wouldn't. You really got to get a good signal out here, and we just simply don't have it. And it really looks like this thing really wants lower price. So Marvin, that's the best news that I've got for you. I hope that helps you out, and best of luck to you. Next question coming in from Mike in Portugal. I love it. Mike is, hey Mike, did you see that Eugene Levy show that's on, I think it's Apple Plus. I've been watching it. I actually finished watching it. He's traveled to some really cool places, some amazing hotels. And I know I haven't watched it yet, but I think he's over in Portugal, Morocco area over there. So I know my wife is looking forward to seeing that for sure. But anyway, Mike's question, and you got to love it. Mike's question is, if you have the chart handy with the NQ top-weighted stocks with Apple and Microsoft. Okay, so yeah, I can make that handy. Give me a moment here. We'll go to my trading charts that take a look at the NDX 100 and its top charts out here. So I just have to find it. Top NDX trading NDX charts. This should be it. So let's see if this populates. Now, hopefully I don't lose my screen out there. Mike, if I do, I'm coming over. Well, I'm not coming over. I'm coming over to Portugal just to have a drink with you. That sounds pretty good. In any event, okay, they're populating. We got Microsoft. We don't have to take a look at Microsoft. I think we already did that. Again, it's trading above its green oscillator and change line and top of its profile. That's suggesting a run towards 266. We take a look at Apple out there. A nice TD9 count bottom. Price been unable to take out its TD9 count top out here. And, Mike, that formed on the trading day of February the 3rd. The high out there is a real key level of resistance, 157.38. You close above that, you're off to the races to the upside. You're above its your price should really make a run for that level. Now, the volume on that swing point was 154 million shares today so far. You've got 17 million shares. So real light in the loafers out here. But conditions are neutral. TD9 count top, price above its green oscillator and change line, top of profile, neutral. In the case of Google, I have an A to B equals CD to the downside. It is still in play out here, but it's questionable. The reason it's questionable is because price is above the top of its daily profile, and that's not usually what you would see with a pattern that suggests an A to B equals CD to the downside. So we're going to remove that pattern at this moment. It's still potentially valid. But with price trading above the top of its daily profile, and that's what you're really looking for, the current signal, it's actually bullish. Amazon, a nice TD9 count top, and now a TD9 count bottom that formed on March the 2nd. Price consolidated right now with inside its daily profile. If price can close above 95.02, we ought to see a run at 97.94. NVIDIA, we've already covered. Tesla, we've already covered. Facebook, you've got resistance at 190.83 out there. I don't have much more on that. And you've got a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top on ticker symbol AVGO, but its overall signal is neutral out there. So I hope that helps out. What we're not seeing here is a ton of bearish charts when we took a look at those top 8 instruments when it came to the NDX 100. And let us not forget that the NDX 100, as we speak right now, let's get back here, take a look at the NDX 100. For its TAS market breadth, it is bullish for all time frames with the exception of the 4-hour, which has got 27 above and 28 below, and that's pretty much neutral out there. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. My apology. I was showing the second 8 charts for the NDX 100. Mike, what I'll do when the show is over, I'll send you the top 8 just so you can see those. It'll go along with the little dissertation that I gave you on that. Let's go to our next request out here. This one is coming in from Nicholas. Nicholas wants to take a look at UNH. Let me be kind of quick on this. We've got a couple of requests, and we're in the last segment here. UNH right now is consolidating with inside its daily profile. It formed a Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom. It confirmed that pattern back on February 6th. Price is moving into a swing point that had volume of 11.1 million shares. Yesterday you were down with 3 million shares. Today so far you are down with 800,000 shares. Nonetheless, price needs to hold support, and support is going to be either 468.05 or the ultimate support is going to be down at the 463.89 level. Not good from the standpoint of a weekly chart out here. UNH is moving into a swing point that has volume of 29 million shares. So far, you're only at 10, so it is moving into that swing point with light volume. Nonetheless, you've got to watch that low. It's the same low we just talked about. So UNH looks like it wants to move. Well, it's got that consolidation pattern that's going on. It doesn't have the volume to suggest it wants to push out that swing point. Let's go to our next request out here. This is from Hector and Patty. I know they wanted to take a look at Caterpillar and oil. So Caterpillar, 3 days ago, snuck right back inside its daily profile. 249.08 is the resistance level. You're still inside that. If price closes below the 248.38 level, it opens up the door for a run to 240.16. The weekly chart has a consolidation with inside its profile from 230.92 to 262. And on a monthly basis, you've got a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. The price is above right now, the top of the monthly profile and its green oscillator and change line. The monthly chart is neutral. So neutral on the monthly. The daily, you got a consolidation. The weekly, you got a consolidation. I don't see anything else out there. Let's see if we can pop up real quickly here. Light sweet crude. It's going to take just a moment to populate. CL April 2023 out here. Let's see if we can do this. I don't know that it's really going to pop up. My apology for that out there, but you're just consolidating, Hector. You're just consolidating with inside its daily profile. I can give you those numbers, that's for sure. I think I can. That's between the range of 74.40 and 79.24. Folks, stay tuned. You got great programming lined up. Please join me tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, for an early edition of the Trader's Edge Show. Take care, folks.